Sneaker collecting has changed a lot over the years. Back in the day, if you had 3 or 4 different pairs of athletic shoes, people would look at you weird. Whereas nowadays, if you have 3 or 4 pairs of different athletic shoes, people might not even consider you a sneakerhead. Even the term sneakerhead is relatively recent nomenclature. In today's episode, I want to talk about some of the different ways that sneaker culture has changed over the years. Some of you youngsters out there might enjoy learning about how the game has changed up, and some of my fellow old heads out there might enjoy reminiscing about the good old days. Like I said in the intro, 10, 15 years ago, if you had a sneaker collection, you were considered a bit of a weirdo. Sneaker collecting used to be a very fringe thing to do, very underground thing to do, a little bit like collecting vinyl records or postage stamps or collectible coins. And a lot of what collecting sneakers was about putting in the footwork to try to get a hold of the types of sneakers that you weren't just going to see every other person wearing on the streets. But nowadays, it feels like everybody is collecting sneakers. And whilst I'm not saying for a single second that that is a bad thing, one of the biggest changes I've seen over the years in my time sneaker collecting is this transition from a fringe pastime to a very popular mainstream hobby. The assist goes something like this. Someone is going to secure a pair for you that you're looking for retail. This could be someone that you know that works at a shoe store. This could be going into a raffle. This could be a friend or a connection that just happens to be swinging by a sneaker store and they see that pair in your size available. Either way, the point of the assist is to secure you your pair that you want for retail. And this used to be commonplace back in the day, to the point where you could even put it out on sneaker forums, MySpace, Facebook, Bebo, showing my age, and have members from the sneaker community reach out to you with an assist. These days, however, not so much the case. You might have come across people looking for assists in Facebook sneaker groups these days. When you see that post, what you can generally see is a whole flood of laughing emojis or haha reactions on the post. The idea of the assist has washed away. Even your friends or family members these days might be reluctant to give you an assist on a hyped up pair of shoes because they know they are potentially forfeiting a little bit of profit. One to rock and one to stock. This is one of the most old school sneakerhead slogans of all time. Also known as doubling up. In fact, some people triple up on certain pairs. And the idea is as simple as it sounds. When a cool shoe comes out, you buy one pair to put straight on foot and beat up, and you have another pair in the cuts ready to be broken out down the line when this current pair you have is shredded. And whilst I'm sure there are plenty of you guys out there that still follow this procedure and do buy one to rock and one to stock, I feel like this idea has kind of shifted away and transitioned into more of a one to rock and one to flip, where you get one pair to wear and enjoy, and you get another pair to flip to somewhat cover the costs of the pair that you are looking to wear. A big part of the reason for the transition in my observations is the uptick in popularity of sneaker care and sneaker cleaning products, as well as the fact that a lot of people have so many pairs of shoes now you can rotate them more on a steady basis, meaning each pair that you do buy doesn't get rocked so regularly. Passing on the hype stuff, I'm sure a lot of my old heads out there will completely be on board with this. There was a time in sneaker culture where if a hype shoe was coming out and you didn't like it, you just didn't go for it. Even if there was a bit of demand around it. If you didn't like the look of it, you weren't feeling the collab or whatever, you just passed. Whereas nowadays, forget it. Be honest with yourselves. If there's a sneaker that's coming out and you know there's a lot of hype around it and there's a lot of resale around for it, you are going to go for it regardless of whether you like it or not, because you're going to be able to flip it, you're going to be able to trade it, you're going to be able to stash it away and potentially make some money on it again further down the line. The flex has changed. Back in the day when you would get a new pair of sneakers, fresh pair of kicks, the first thing you wanted to do was to put them on feet and go out in them. Especially if you were playing basketball. The idea of lacing up a fresh pair of Jordans and taking to the courts was like the most empowering feeling. Whereas nowadays, the flex has changed. It's all about social media, it's all about taking really nice pictures for the gram, it's all about unboxing. I know I'm mocking all of these things whilst simultaneously doing a job wherein I get paid to do these very things, but I'm still gonna highlight the change. So the irony here is that flexing sneakers in the past used to be about using them for their intended purpose. Whereas nowadays, flexing sneakers isn't so much so, it's more about just showing that you have them. Knowing the market value for sneakers. I'm sure a lot of you guys will cringe up thinking about how you've sold a really rare pair of shoes like 10 years ago for absolute peanuts, where that same shoe in today's market is worth an absolute boatload of money. But back in the day, the only way you could really determine the market value was to push the pairs out to the community on places like Nike Talk or Facebook forums, community groups, local sneaker stores. And because resale wasn't really a big thing back in the day, members of the same community weren't really out to try to tax each other. In fact, in a lot of cases, what you wanted to do as an upstanding member of the sneaker community was give people good deals and steals on cool sneakers they were looking for. Contrast that to today, where you have regular updates with market prices changing every other minute of the day. You can figure out how much a sneaker is worth on any number of different resale apps and sites. In fact, in a lot of instances, a lot of people are consulting with this data before they even buy their shoes. Sneaker resale culture has become an entity unto itself, a massive pimple on the arse cheek of sneaker culture. There are many positives to sneaker reselling, there are many negatives to sneaker reselling. A lot of people have made a lot of money off of it, and a lot of people have lost a lot of money off of it. The big change in sneaker reselling, at least from my perspective, is just how normalized it's become. Don't get me wrong, sneaker reselling has been around as long as sneakers. Anybody that has been active on eBay for the last 20 years knows exactly what I'm talking about. But the extent to which sneaker reselling has become normalized can be summarized in the following proposition. These days, a lot of people don't even worry about going for the sneaker for retail because they know they're not going to be able to compete against all the bots, as well as the money-hungry resellers who are depending on securing these pairs to keep the lights on at home. And so a lot of normal people who want these really hyped up shoes don't even bother going for them in the first place, or don't even spare a thought of securing them for retail. Rather, what they do is they just save money for the resale, knowing that they will inevitably have to pay it. You can call them reps, you can call them UAs, you can call them foo-foos. Back in the day, fakes used to be a lot easier to identify. Quality, the production, the scale of these replica factories was nowhere near what it is today. From a cultural point of view, fakes have always generally been frowned upon in the sneaker community. There's a certain level of integrity and honesty and discipline that comes with taking an L and just holding it. Whereas nowadays, the paradigm has completely changed. Fakes have been normalized, quality and the accuracy of them have come up so much that in a lot of cases, let's just be honest about it, it's very hard to tell the difference. And with the increased pressure on people to attain these really sought after kicks and the sky high reseller prices for these same said kicks, it's of very little wonder that the replica market has completely blown up in recent years. You know, I had to talk about the lineup. The lineup is one of the most sacred events in any sneakerhead's life. Lining up or camping out for sneakers is kind of like a rite of passage. There's something really exciting about being in a line at like 2 in the morning, surrounded by other young men or women that are all eagerly anticipating the release of a certain sneaker. It's a time where you can get to know other people from the community and swap sneaker stories. And there's something exciting in not knowing whether or not your extreme effort is actually even going to pay dividends. The campouts and the lineup is sacred. but unfortunately it has been taken away from us, mainly because we can't be trusted to act in a civil manner, and it has been replaced with the online raffle. And the online raffle, as we have all become accustomed to, is pretty much rigged. The online raffle has provided a beautiful cloak for retailers to engage in nefarious backdooring, because at the end of the day, we don't know the stock numbers. We don't know the amount of raffle winners. And so this online raffle system has almost become a cheat code or a money glitch for retailers to act untoward. You couple that together with the fact that a lot of entries are botted, and the sacred lineup that used to give us all an opportunity to interact with other members of the community, put in that effort, put in that footwork, put in that time, and be rewarded with the sneaker at the end of it, has disappeared from sight. Now, I could go on and on and on, but I don't really want to. I want to cut it off there. Let me know down below what things in sneaker culture have changed in your opinion that I might have missed out in today's episode, and I'll select the best suggestions to make a follow-up part 2 down the line. And so thank you once again for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care for now. Peace.